What are the key principles of cybersecurity? This is a fundamental question that every cybersecurity professional must understand. The answer lies in understanding the CIA triad, the three fundamental principles that form the foundation of all cybersecurity practices. The CIA triad represents the three core principles: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These principles guide every cybersecurity decision and strategy. Let's examine each principle in detail, starting with confidentiality. Confidentiality ensures that sensitive information is protected from unauthorized access. This includes encrypting data, implementing access controls, and requiring proper user authentication. Integrity guarantees that data remains accurate and reliable, unchanged from its original form unless authorized. This is achieved through digital signatures, checksums, and proper version control systems. Availability ensures that information and systems are accessible when needed by authorized users. This requires redundant systems, regular backups, and comprehensive disaster recovery plans. Remember the CIA triad as your foundation. Confidentiality protects information, integrity ensures accuracy, and availability guarantees access. These three principles work together to create comprehensive cybersecurity protection. Question 3. What is the CIA triad? This is one of the fundamental concepts in cybersecurity that every professional must understand. The CIA triad represents the three core principles of information security: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These three pillars form the foundation of all cybersecurity practices. Confidentiality ensures that sensitive information is only accessible to authorized individuals. This is achieved through encryption and access controls. Access controls determine who can view or modify specific information. An access control matrix defines permissions for different users and resources. Integrity ensures that data remains accurate and unaltered. Hash functions create unique fingerprints that detect any changes to data. Version control systems track changes to files over time, allowing you to see who made changes and when, ensuring data integrity. Availability ensures that systems and data are accessible when needed. This includes redundancy and disaster recovery planning. Redundancy involves having backup systems and multiple copies of critical data to prevent single points of failure. The CIA triad provides a comprehensive framework for cybersecurity. Confidentiality protects sensitive data, integrity ensures data accuracy, and availability guarantees system access when needed. Question 6. What is a firewall? Let's unlock this important cybersecurity concept. A firewall is a network security system that acts as a digital barrier, monitoring and controlling all incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. Think of a firewall as a security guard at the entrance of a building. Just as a security guard checks who can enter and leave, a firewall examines data packets and decides whether to allow or block them. Firewalls create a protective barrier between trusted internal networks, like your home or office network, and untrusted external networks, such as the internet. There are two main types of firewalls: hardware firewalls and software firewalls. Hardware firewalls are physical devices that protect entire networks, while software firewalls run on individual computers. Modern firewalls can be configured with sophisticated rules and policies. They can filter traffic based on IP addresses, ports, protocols, and even inspect the content of data packets for threats. In enterprise environments, firewalls often work with other security systems to create multiple layers of protection, including encryption and access controls, as shown in complex network architectures. Firewalls are essential components of cybersecurity, serving as the first line of defense against unauthorized access and malicious traffic. They help organizations and individuals maintain secure network environments. Question 7. What is encryption? Encryption is the process of converting readable data, called plain text, into an unreadable format, called ciphertext. This transformation protects the confidentiality of sensitive information. There are two main types of encryption. First is symmetric encryption, where the same key is used for both encryption and decryption. This is like having one key that both locks and unlocks a door. The second type is asymmetric encryption, which uses a pair of keys, a public key for encryption and a private key for decryption. This is like having a mailbox where anyone can put mail in, but only you have the key to take it out. Common encryption algorithms include AES for symmetric encryption, which is widely used for securing data at rest and in transit, and RSA for asymmetric encryption, commonly used for secure key exchange and digital signatures. Question 8. What is a VPN? Let's unlock this important cybersecurity concept. A VPN, or virtual private network, is a technology that creates a secure and encrypted connection over a less secure network, such as the internet. Here's how a VPN works in practice. When you connect to a VPN, it creates a secure tunnel between your device and the internet, protecting your data from hackers and snoopers. VPNs provide two key security features. First, they mask your IP address, hiding your real location and identity from websites and online services. Second, VPNs encrypt your internet traffic, scrambling your data so that even if someone intercepts it, they cannot read or understand it. VPNs have several important use cases. One common use is accessing geo-restricted content, allowing you to bypass regional blocks and access websites or streaming services from different countries. Another crucial use case is protecting your data when using public Wi-Fi networks. Public Wi-Fi is often unsecured, making it easy for cybercriminals to intercept your personal information. In summary, a VPN is an essential cybersecurity tool that provides privacy, security, and freedom online by creating encrypted connections and masking your digital identity. Question 9. What is multi-factor authentication, or MFA? Multi-factor authentication is a security system that requires users to provide multiple authentication factors to verify their identity before gaining access to a system or application. MFA is based on three main authentication factors. The first is something you know, like a password or PIN. The second is something you have, such as a smartphone or security token. The third is something you are, which includes biometric data like fingerprints or facial recognition. Let me show you some real examples. Here's an RSA Secure ID token, which generates time-based codes that users must enter along with their password. Biometric authentication uses unique physical characteristics. This fingerprint scanner represents the something you are factor, providing highly secure identification based on your unique biological features. Here's how all three factors work together in a complete MFA system. Each factor adds an additional layer of security, making it exponentially harder for attackers to gain unauthorized access. The security improvement with MFA is dramatic. While single-factor authentication relies on just one method that can be compromised, MFA requires attackers to breach multiple independent security layers simultaneously. MFA significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access, even if one authentication factor is compromised. This makes it an essential security measure for protecting sensitive data and systems in today's digital world. Question 10. What is a password manager? Let's unlock this important cybersecurity concept. A password manager is a specialized software application designed to securely store, organize, and manage all of your passwords in one encrypted location. Password managers solve a critical problem in cybersecurity. Instead of trying to remember dozens of complex passwords, or reusing the same weak password everywhere, a password manager does the heavy lifting for you. One of the most important functions of a password manager is generating strong, unique passwords. Instead of using weak passwords like password 123, it creates complex passwords that are virtually impossible to guess. Password managers also provide automatic filling capabilities. When you visit a website, the password manager recognizes the login form and can automatically enter your credentials, saving time and reducing typing errors. The most critical security benefit of password managers is preventing password reuse. Many people use the same password across multiple accounts, which means if one account is compromised, all accounts become vulnerable. Modern password managers offer cloud-based synchronization, allowing you to access your passwords securely from any device. They use advanced encryption to protect your data, making them far more secure than storing passwords in browsers or writing them down. In summary, a password manager is an essential cybersecurity tool that creates, stores, and manages strong, unique passwords for all your accounts, significantly improving your digital security while making your online life more convenient. Question 11. What is a security audit? A security audit is a systematic and comprehensive evaluation of an organization's security policies, procedures, and infrastructure. The primary purpose is to identify vulnerabilities, weaknesses, and gaps in security measures. This systematic approach ensures that organizations maintain compliance with security standards and regulations. There are two main types of security audits: internal audits and external audits. Each serves different purposes and provides unique perspectives on an organization's security posture. Internal audits are performed by the organization's own security team or internal auditors. They report to management and focus on assessing internal controls and processes. External audits are conducted by independent third-party firms. They provide an objective assessment and are often required for compliance with regulations. External audits report to stakeholders and confirm adherence to standards like GAAP. The security audit process follows a structured approach, beginning with registration and self-assessment, followed by formal application and comprehensive audit procedures. The audit process includes multiple stages with decision points. Organizations may need to undergo mock audits, waiting periods, and annual reporting requirements. The process ensures thorough evaluation and continuous improvement. Regular security audits are crucial for maintaining a strong security posture. They help organizations identify risks before they become serious threats. Security audits help organizations assess risk levels using matrices like this one, showing how risks can be reduced from high or extreme levels to more manageable levels through proper controls and mitigation strategies. By conducting regular security audits, organizations can maintain robust defenses, ensure regulatory compliance, and build trust with stakeholders through demonstrated security commitment. Question 12. What is vulnerability assessment? Let's unlock this important cybersecurity concept. Vulnerability assessment is the systematic process of identifying, quantifying, and prioritizing security vulnerabilities in computer systems, networks, and applications. This process involves using automated tools and manual techniques to scan systems and discover potential security weaknesses before attackers can exploit them. There are several types of vulnerability assessments. Network vulnerability scans examine network infrastructure, identifying open ports, services, and potential entry points for attackers. Web application vulnerability scans focus specifically on web-based applications, testing for common vulnerabilities like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and authentication flaws. Database vulnerability assessments examine database systems for misconfigurations, weak passwords, and unauthorized access points that could compromise sensitive data. The results of vulnerability assessments are typically presented in comprehensive dashboards that categorize vulnerabilities by severity level, helping organizations prioritize their remediation efforts. Vulnerability assessments are crucial for proactive security management. They help organizations identify weaknesses before attackers do, comply with security standards, and maintain a strong security posture. Regular vulnerability assessments should be part of every organization's security strategy, helping to maintain robust defenses against evolving cyber threats. Question 13. What is penetration testing, also known as pen testing? Penetration testing is a simulated cyber attack conducted on a computer system, network, or web application to identify security vulnerabilities and assess the effectiveness of existing security controls. There are three main types of penetration testing, each providing different levels of information to the testing team. Let's explore black box testing first. Black box testing simulates an external attack where the tester has no prior knowledge of the internal system structure, just like a real attacker would. White box testing provides the tester with complete knowledge of the system, including source code, architecture, and internal documentation. Gray box testing combines elements of both approaches, providing the tester with partial knowledge of the internal systems. Penetration testing is crucial for validating security measures because it provides real-world assessment of an organization's security posture and helps identify weaknesses before malicious attackers can exploit them. Penetration testing is an essential component of a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy, helping organizations stay one step ahead of potential threats. Question 14. What is social engineering? Social engineering represents one of the most dangerous cybersecurity threats because it targets the human element rather than technical systems. Social engineering is the art of manipulating people into divulging confidential information or performing actions that compromise security. Unlike technical attacks that exploit software vulnerabilities, social engineering exploits human psychology and trust. There are several common social engineering techniques that attackers use. These include pretexting, where attackers create false scenarios to gain trust, phishing through deceptive emails, baiting with enticing offers, and quid pro quo exchanges. Pretexting involves creating a fabricated scenario to engage victims and gain their trust. Attackers might impersonate IT support, bank representatives, or other trusted figures to extract sensitive information from unsuspecting targets. Cybercriminals use various psychological tactics and technical methods to deceive their victims. They often combine multiple approaches to increase their chances of success, making their attacks more sophisticated and harder to detect. Quid pro quo attacks involve offering a service or benefit in exchange for information or access. For example, an attacker might call employees offering free tech support, then request login credentials to fix their computer problems. Other common techniques include baiting, where attackers offer something enticing like free software or USB drives containing malware, and phishing through deceptive emails that appear to come from legitimate sources but steal credentials or install malicious software. Prevention of social engineering attacks relies heavily on user awareness training and establishing security protocols. Organizations must educate employees about these tactics and create verification procedures for sensitive requests. Remember, social engineering attacks succeed because they exploit human nature and trust. The best defense is education, awareness, and healthy skepticism when dealing with unsolicited requests for information or access. Question 15. What is a DDoS attack? A DDoS attack, or distributed denial of service attack, is a malicious attempt to disrupt the normal traffic of a targeted server, service, or network by overwhelming the target with a flood of internet traffic from multiple sources. In this attack, multiple compromised computer systems, often called a botnet, are used to generate the attack traffic. The attacker controls these slave computers remotely to flood the victim server with requests, making it unavailable to legitimate users. There are three main types of DDoS attacks. First, volumetric attacks aim to consume the bandwidth of the target or consume network resources. These attacks are measured in bits per second. Second, protocol attacks exploit weaknesses in server resources by consuming connection state tables. These attacks are measured in packets per second and include SYN flood attacks. Third, application layer attacks target web applications by overwhelming specific functions or features. These attacks are measured in requests per second and are often harder to detect because they mimic normal user behavior. Organizations can protect themselves against DDoS attacks using several mitigation techniques. Web application firewalls can filter malicious traffic. Content delivery networks distribute traffic across multiple servers, and having a comprehensive DDoS response plan is essential. DDoS attacks remain one of the most common and disruptive cyber threats. Understanding these attacks and implementing proper defenses is crucial for maintaining service availability and protecting against malicious actors who seek to disrupt online services. Question 16. What is SQL injection? SQL injection is one of the most dangerous and common web application vulnerabilities that every cybersecurity professional must understand. SQL injection is a code injection technique used to attack data-driven applications. Attackers insert malicious SQL statements into entry fields like login forms, search boxes, or any input that interacts with a database. Here we can see a classic example of SQL injection in action. A hacker is injecting malicious code into a vulnerable bank website's login form, using the technique to bypass authentication and gain unauthorized access. SQL injection works through a simple but devastating process. First, an attacker identifies a vulnerable input field. Then they inject malicious SQL code instead of normal data. The vulnerable application executes this malicious command, and the database returns unauthorized data or access. This diagram illustrates the complete attack flow. The threat actor sends malicious SQL commands through the web application, which bypasses security measures and reaches the database server, potentially returning sensitive data back to the attacker. The consequences of SQL injection can be devastating. Attackers can bypass authentication systems, access and steal sensitive customer data, modify or delete critical database records, and even gain complete administrative control of the database server. SQL injection attacks represent a critical security vulnerability that can compromise entire systems and expose millions of records, making them a top priority for cybersecurity professionals. Preventing SQL injection requires multiple security measures. Input validation ensures all user inputs are properly validated and sanitized. Parameterized queries use prepared statements that separate code from data. The principle of least privilege limits database user permissions to only what's necessary. This illustration shows the importance of implementing comprehensive SQL injection prevention measures, including proper security controls and defensive programming practices. Here's an example of secure code that prevents SQL injection. This C# code uses parameterized queries with the @displayName parameter, which separates the SQL logic from user data, making injection attacks impossible. To summarize, SQL injection is a critical web application vulnerability that can lead to complete system compromise. Prevention requires implementing secure coding practices, including parameterized queries and proper input validation. Understanding and preventing SQL injection is essential for any cybersecurity professional. Question 17. What is cross-site scripting, commonly known as XSS? Cross-site scripting, or XSS, is a critical web security vulnerability that allows attackers to inject malicious scripts into websites that are then viewed by other users. When a user visits the compromised website, the malicious script executes in their browser, potentially stealing sensitive information like session cookies or personal data. There are three main types of XSS attacks. First is reflected XSS, where malicious scripts are reflected off a web server through error messages, search results, or any response that includes user input. Second is stored XSS, also called persistent XSS. Here, the malicious script is permanently stored on the target server, such as in a database or comment section. Third is DOM-based XSS, where the vulnerability exists in client-side code rather than server-side. The malicious script modifies the document object model environment in the victim's browser. Preventing XSS attacks requires two key security practices: input validation and output encoding. Input validation filters malicious data before it enters the application. Output encoding neutralizes harmful data before it reaches the user, converting special characters into safe HTML entities. Together, these methods create a robust defense against XSS attacks. Understanding XSS vulnerabilities is crucial for web developers and security professionals to build secure applications and protect users from malicious attacks. Question 18. What is ransomware? This is a critical cybersecurity threat that every computer user should understand. Ransomware is a type of malicious software, or malware, that encrypts a victim's files and demands a ransom payment to restore access to the data. Ransomware typically spreads through three main methods: phishing emails with malicious attachments, malicious websites that exploit browser vulnerabilities, and unpatched software vulnerabilities. Prevention is crucial when dealing with ransomware. The most important defenses include maintaining regular backups of your data, providing security awareness training to recognize threats, and keeping all security software up to date. Remember, if you become a victim of ransomware, security experts generally recommend not paying the ransom, as there's no guarantee you'll get your files back, and payment encourages more attacks. Understanding ransomware and implementing proper security measures can protect you and your organization from this devastating cyber threat. Question 19. What is data loss prevention, or DLP? Data loss prevention is a comprehensive set of technologies and processes designed to prevent sensitive data from leaving an organization's control. DLP solutions act as digital guardians, identifying, monitoring, and protecting valuable information assets. DLP solutions protect data in three critical states: data at rest, which is stored information like files on servers; data in motion, which is information being processed or used; and data in transit, which is data moving across networks. The DLP workflow begins when data is sent, saved, or printed. The system classifies this data as non-business, general business, or confidential. Based on this classification, DLP can notify users, block actions, quarantine files, or apply protection measures. Common DLP techniques include content filtering, which scans for sensitive patterns like social security numbers; data masking, which replaces real data with fictional but realistic alternatives, and encryption, which scrambles data to make it unreadable without proper keys. When violations are detected, DLP systems follow structured response procedures. They determine severity levels, notify security teams, and may escalate to management or legal departments, depending on the nature and impact of the potential data loss. Question 20. What is incident response? Incident response is a critical cybersecurity process that organizations use to handle security breaches and cyber attacks. Let me unlock this answer for you. Incident response is the structured process of identifying, analyzing, containing, eradicating, and recovering from security incidents to minimize their impact on an organization. Incident response is essentially a structured approach that organizations follow when they detect a security breach or cyber attack. The goal is to minimize damage, reduce recovery time, and prevent future incidents. The incident response process follows a well-defined life cycle with specific phases. Let me show you the standard incident response life cycle that most organizations follow. This diagram shows the four main phases of incident response: preparation, detection and analysis, containment, eradication and recovery, and post-incident activity. Each phase has specific activities and flows into the next. Now let me break down each phase in detail. The incident response process actually consists of 6 key phases that organizations must follow systematically. Here are the 6 phases. Preparation involves creating plans and training teams. Identification means detecting and analyzing incidents. Containment stops the incident from spreading. Eradication removes the threat completely. Recovery restores normal operations. And lessons learned improves future response. Having a well-defined incident response plan is crucial for organizations. Without proper planning, security incidents can cause devastating damage, extended downtime, and significant financial losses. This comprehensive incident response program shows the 5 phases with detailed explanations. A proper incident response plan minimizes damage, reduces financial impact, preserves evidence, maintains customer trust, ensures compliance, and improves future security. Remember, incident response is not just about reacting to attacks. It's about being prepared, having the right processes in place, and continuously improving your organization's security resilience. Every organization needs a robust incident response plan to protect against today's evolving cyber threats. Question 22. How can you stay updated on the latest cybersecurity threats? This is a crucial question because the cybersecurity landscape is constantly evolving with new threats emerging daily. Let me unlock the answer for you. There are several effective strategies to stay informed about emerging cybersecurity threats. First, subscribe to reputable security blogs and newsletters. Organizations like SANS, Krebs on Security, and ThreatPost provide regular updates on the latest threats, vulnerabilities, and security research. Second, follow cybersecurity experts and organizations on social media platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn. Security researchers often share real-time threat intelligence and breaking news about new vulnerabilities. Third, attend security conferences and webinars. Events like DEF CON, Black Hat, and RSA Conference provide cutting-edge insights from industry leaders and researchers about emerging threats and defense strategies. Fourth, participate in online security communities. Platforms like Reddit's cybersecurity forums, Discord servers, and professional groups provide collaborative learning environments where practitioners share experiences and threat information. Most importantly, embrace continuous learning. The cybersecurity field evolves rapidly, with new threats, tools, and techniques emerging constantly. Consider pursuing additional certifications, taking online courses, and staying curious about new developments in the field. Question 23 asks about your career goals in cybersecurity. This is a crucial interview question that allows you to demonstrate your passion, direction, and commitment to the field. When answering this question, you should be specific about your interests, demonstrate knowledge of the field, and show enthusiasm for continuous learning and growth. Start by mentioning specific areas within cybersecurity that interest you. This shows you understand the breadth of the field and have done your research. Discuss the specific skills you want to develop. Show that you understand what technical and soft skills are valuable in cybersecurity roles. Emphasize your commitment to continuous learning. Cybersecurity is a rapidly evolving field, and employers value candidates who stay current with threats and technologies. Express your desire for professional growth and your enthusiasm for contributing to a secure digital environment. Show that you understand the bigger picture of cybersecurity's importance. Here's a sample structure for your answer. Start with your specific interests, mention skills you want to develop, show your commitment to learning, and express enthusiasm for contributing to cybersecurity. Remember, authenticity is key. Your genuine passion for cybersecurity and specific knowledge of the field will make your answer stand out to interviewers.